Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about upgrading an old speaker. Well, not too old. You need to consider that generally most audio grade components are a lot larger than what manufacturers use. A lot of manufacturers, it's all about cost, so they'll use a kind of low cost cap in their crossover just to keep their overall costs down. But that obviously remit is off when it comes to upgrading. So, for example, this is Morgan Short Carnival Series 2. It's a two-way design, pretty good for sensitivity as well. So I reckon about 90 dB. Quite light, but I use them at home on my Mac, so I've got a Val amp linked up to them either side, so they're pretty good. But they're a bit dry sounding, so I want a bit more slam to them, so I'm going to go for an upgrade. A thing that you should also consider is the size. So you can fit an external crossover, so effectively you have, because it's a two-way, you're going to have, if you wanted to do an external crossover, you would have two connectors that will just go wire up to the tweeter, wire up to the bass, and then that's it. And in the box, you can just do the upgrade components too. So I've not had a look inside these. I believe it's the first order crossover, so there shouldn't be a lot in there. One thing you notice straight away is these old school push clip speaker connectors, which I will replace. I'm going to go through the back first. Sometimes you have to go through the front, which we probably will do here. Here we go. So it's on the PCB, and I would probably keep the PCB. You've got a 6R8 5 watt, that's probably a 5 watt wire wound resistor, and you've got two caps, 5 UF and a 10 UF 50 volt, and then you've got two iron core inductors. I would generally leave these in. The thing about changing inductors is if you start using, say for example, air core and a thicker wire, you're going to have different DC resistances going on. So yeah, I would stick with these to start with. I'm going to keep this, but I am going to remove these. The internal wiring doesn't look particularly brilliant, so I might swap that around as well. Oh, it's always a good idea to take a picture of everything while you're doing it. So you know what you're doing. If you look inside where the speaker post is soldered to the PCB, it's quite hard to get in there, and we're going to replace these anyway. We're going to go with the Audio Note ones. So I'm going to cut there because it's just going to be an nightmare to desolder. There you go. So you can now get that out. Superb. So I'm just going to desolder this other connector to the board so I can just get rid of that and it's easier to use. Right, so I'm going to remove these and put those in their place. Sweet fitted. Oh my God. It's amazing, it actually fits spot on. How wonderful. Like that. Cool, solid. So I'm going to have to open those holes to get those things through. So basically the two holes that the previous post poked through, they're too big. So I need to just ream it. So we've reamed out these holes here. So obviously this has to be connected up. So when you've done it, you'll have a bit of wire that will connect up those to there. And then with this one, a bit of wire soldered onto the actual track will just connect round to there as well. So it's all good. That's worked really well. Almost made for the job, so you can see. I'm going to press it in like that, and that's flush. That's great. So all we need to do now is think about the components we're going to swap with these. So we've been out in the stores and we've picked up some components for the caps for 10 UF. We're going to go with 10 UF 250 volt ESA, similar width. That should be fine going in. And then that's 10 to replace the 10 there. For the 5 UF here, we're going to go for the 4.7 UF with the Judson cross cap 0.3. So 0.3 and a 4.7 is 5 UF in parallel. And then for the resistor, going for the Oh My Audio Gold, which will pop in there. Should be great. Before I do any adjustments, I do want to replace these wires, so I'm going to have a look at the other side of the speakers and see the connections. So for wiring up the woofer, I've gone for the DCA 16GA from Juland. Great cable, a lot of people using it for their internals. So also I'm using the push-ons, the gold-plated push-ons that we sell. And then strip it back. Some people just rely on close contact, but I'll solder as well as give it a bit of a crimp. So I'm going to call this the positive, so red. Slip it on. That's that. Let's put that one. Cool. So that's the wiring for the woofer. You need to mark the other ends. So, not that you're going to use these, but it's just to mark it. So, let's see how this goes underneath. Those through. Underneath. Like that. So that's all ready to wire up. To actually push on with the. I'm actually going to put some angel hair in these. Why not? We've got some. So I couldn't wire it out yet. I'm just going to do the wiring for this, the tweeter. So we're going for the DCA 20 thinner stuff for the tweeter connection. Good. So I've got my angel hair. It's 200 gram. Probably won't need that. And when this stuff works is I'm going to tweet it out. Okay. So terminals at the bottom. Connect the lid on. Good fit. Sidey. Back on. Sidey. It's good. This stuff gets everywhere. That's good. And tweeter. There's the tweeter, is it? So coming from the top. Like that. And the red. You could solder these on, but I figure you don't want to mess up the voice coil. It's very thin wire. So pull the wire through. Right, that's cool. So we've got to the stage where we have our components that we're going to do the upgrade with. We have to remove the old components, and on a couple of them we're going to have to increase the hole on the PCB because the wires are quite thick. I think probably about 1 mil on the ESAs. So it's always a good idea to have the other speaker close by so you can refer, so you're not removing things and think, oh, what did I just do? So we're going to desolder these. The tracks on this board are pretty strong, so they can take a bit of heating. So I've got a tool here, drill bit. I think it's probably a 1.2 mil. So I'm just going to open up the holes. That was easy. Just make sure it fits. This is for the 10 UF. Yep, lovely. So we're now going to take the 4.7 off, which is these two holes here. That done, and then we've got the resistor here, which is that hole and that hole. I don't think I need to open up these holes. It's always a good idea when you put these kind of components in to have the actual resistance label showing. So fits nicely there. That's a 4.7, that's 10. Okay. So they can go either way around these. They don't mark what the inner or outer foil is. I'm going to solder these in quickly. It might pop out. I'm going to leave that long because I might be able to use that wire to attach all the other bits together. And on this one, the original was a 5 UF, so we're using 0.3 Jackson cross cap and 4.7. So putting those in parallel will give you what a nice snug fit that is. And then this will shove in there and wrap it around. Again, the Jackson cross caps don't have, they don't show the inner and outer foil, so either way around is good. Sweet. There you go, let's give it a turn so we can see it. So that's pretty stable there like that. That's great. So I want to mark up on the board, which is rich. Which is the other one. Let's tweeter. Positive. So we're going to remove these wires, prep those to get them in. So this is the one for the woofer. We could probably cut that down a bit. On that. So you can see that the lead out, they're quite big. I'll start opening them up with these. So we need to go bigger. Just thinking, once that's there, that's going to be a real pain to solder everything up. You can see, how am I going to get a soldering iron into there? So, what I'm going to do is make sure I've got a bit of wire going through this end. Yeah? So, I'm going to use that bit of wire for the terminal there. And then also I need to make sure that all this is connected up, so that's cool. That's great. So you can see that you've just got to solder that to that. That's brilliant. Right, so now I'm going to wire up these. So this is for the tweeter. So then we're going to put the little circuit clips on. Solder that wire to there. Solder that wire to there. Cool. Ooh! Sweet. I was going to do a DC resistance check. Yep. So that's about 7 ohms. That's done, effectively. Just got to put the screws back on. We have got an amp. Play it. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Should we hook the amp up to it? Let's see how she goes. Looks kind of cool with those audio notes there. You can use the covers if you want to, but I don't bother. And then let's put some tunes on. Ooh. So it's working, but you're going to know, you need to be aware that it's going to sound a bit boomy to begin with. As you try to burn it, you need about 150 hours before it settles down. So just turn them on, play them in the corner, don't analyse them, and you're away. So hopefully that's helped you with your vintage loudspeaker upgrades. See you later!
Everyone saying different things to me, different things to me. Everyone saying different things to me, different things to me. Do you believe in what you say? There doesn't seem to be anybody else who agrees with me. Do you believe in what you say? Most of